Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. NBA teams are getting ready for training camp. Media day was this week as well for every team, and we're about ready to get started here. The preseason starts in a couple days. I'm super excited. Can't wait to get back to you guys with night-to-night highlights. Please make sure you stay locked and loaded to my platform. I got some special stuff on the way. I cannot wait for you guys to see what I have this season. I'm a creator, man, and just being able to be, on this platform, in this space, and do what I love to do, I'm going to keep working at it until I get it right. So, hey, man, thank y'all so much for the support. Obviously, one of the biggest storylines that's been pretty much this entire offseason, and we knew it would be, right? Ben Simmons. What's going to happen with Ben? As of right now, Ben Simmons has demanded a trade out of Philadelphia. He ain't reported the media day, training camp. I think he's on the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. I've seen some clips around about him hooping, making jump shots, which I don't even take that serious anymore. But Ben Simmons has let it be known to Philly, I don't want to play for you guys anymore. Trade me somewhere. I don't even care where it's at this point in the game. I will not report to Philadelphia to play with this team anymore. Now, that comes after the Sixers lost in the second round of the playoffs to the Atlanta Hawks in 7 games. If you remember, right after the loss, and Philly was the 1 seed, by the way. If you remember, right after the loss, Doc Rivers went to the podium, and when asked about, his commitment to Ben in the future, he didn't commit to Ben. He was like, I don't know. He got that raspy voice. He's like, I don't know. When asked about Ben Simmons being the point guard of the future, if this team wants to compete for champions, he's like, I can answer that right now. And then Joel Embiid came right after Doc Rivers at the presser and was asked about what play changed the game, and he referenced a play in which Ben Simmons obviously did not take a layup. That's the reality. Now, I watched Doc at media day kind of walk back his comments. I watched Joel Embiid. He didn't apologize for anything he had said in the past, and I don't think he should, but he let it be known that he would like to have Ben Simmons there. And to give Joel credit, through all the trouble that Ben has been, to me at least, in Philly, he's always remained consistent. Like, I'd rather play with Ben. If I had it my way, I'd still want Ben on the court. Joel Embiid, also remember, he comes from nothing. Like, Ben, I don't think Ben comes from those type of humble beginnings. Joel Embiid talks a certain way because it ain't no sugarcoating with him. Like, he was broke. Like, the way he looks at life, I think is just different than this privileged Ben Simmons guy, man. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better way to put that, but that's the reality of it. Ben's, apparently the Sixers team wanted to kind of travel to Ben Simmons to talk to him and try to get him back because they have had a lot of success in the regular season. Whatever you want to say about Ben, to me, it doesn't translate over in the regular season, right? Like, you might lose a couple big games with Ben in the regular season, but for the most part, you're going to be fine. If you think about it night to night, he plays hard. Give him credit for that. I believe one of the reasons why he plays hard is because he knows he's such a liability on offense. Like, I've been the worst guy on the court. I'm not saying Ben Simmons was the worst guy on the court, but in this era where shooting is at a premium, you can be looked at as the worst guy on the court if you don't shoot, which Ben Simmons oftentimes doesn't shoot. So I'm saying this. Ben Simmons plays incredibly hard on the basketball court in the regular season because he knows he ain't going to shoot the basketball. So he'll do everything else to not shoot the basketball, including defend, guards. If you can't say anything else nice about Ben Simmons, give this man credit in these 2 regards. The man can move his feet. I mean, he's still 6'10", 6'11". He can move his feet with the best of them, right? And also he's got a pretty high basketball IQ, which allows him to make some pinpoint passes from time to time. Here's the thing. In the playoffs, that stuff doesn't matter. You're not winning a championship on great passing ability. Like, you got to be able to shoot the basketball at some point in time. This is a half-court set here, and he can't do that. That's why the Sixers continue to get exposed in the playoffs. That's where their frustration is in Philly. And everybody caping up for Ben. I'm watching Doc Rivers kind of walk his comments back. I'm watching Joel Embiid teeter the line a little bit. I think Philadelphia should stay in their ground. I think they should stay in their ground with Ben. Don't trade him. They don't have to pay him if he continues to miss time because he's not injured or anything like that. He just doesn't want to play basketball, right? Like, if I were Philly, stand in your ground. Something will happen in the NBA where some team will say, hey, it's not working out. Maybe it's Portland. Maybe it's not. We'll see. Let's make a trade. Let's make a deal. Right now, though, there's nothing because every team feels like they've had a great offseason and they like their chances right now, whatever their expectations are. So right now, there's nothing. There's not going to be anything. Nope. Like, you can't come. Philly's trying to walk back what they said. Like, his stock ain't high. Like, this ain't James Harden. You could trade James Harden a week before the season, 2 weeks into the season. Like, Houston traded James Harden because he's James Harden. He's one of the best shooting guards of the last 10 years, whatever I think about him personally or not. Like, he still gets a bucket, and he's an incredible playmaker. Ben Simmons ain't that. and nowhere close to that. And I know he's only 25, but he ain't even close to that. So you're not going to be able to trade Ben right now. And obviously, if you're Philly, they're like, wait a minute, why we got to be the team to make a stance and make a statement? Why we got to be the team to not have one of our top players and one of our highest paid players on our team? We just got to sit back and take that L. We don't get that money back. Like, we just got a guy sitting out. We can't go bring, you don't get an exemption for that, right? Like, we just got a guy sitting out because he don't want to play for us. And we can't go add to that roster and get better. That don't help us at all. You know, the thing I do believe Philly has working for them is I believe Joel Embiid can win you games in the regular season. See, Houston traded Harden, and they sucked after it because Harden was their best player. Embiid is Philly's best player. And I do believe they can win top 3, top 4 seed type of games to start the season off without Ben Simmons. We'll see if they call his bluff. Apparently, Ben's willing to sit out the entire regular season. We'll see how long that lasts. If I'm Philly, I'm holding my ground. I'm just going to let this dude sit out. Hey, best case scenario, if he sits out an entire year, that's more than enough time to work on his jump shot. Get that dude a year to work on his jump shot. Go let him lock in with Lethal Shooter and C. Brinkley, and hopefully they can fix his jumper because he needs it. Yeah, that's the update. I don't think Philly's going to have Ben to start the season, and I don't think there's a trade out there unless Philly forces one, like just forces a bad trade. Like, let's say they trade Ben Simmons to Portland for like Robert Covington or something like that, or they trade him for like Derrick Jones Jr. It would have to be a forced trade. It's not going to be a real trade that makes sense for Philly right now for Ben Simmons. I don't think so, at least. So we shall see how this progresses. As of right now, Philly will enter their preseason and their regular season without Ben Simmons. He said he's done. Only time will tell.